Hey guys, thanks for watching our Making a Homestead miniseries. You're watching the third installment of the chicken coop. In the last video, Farmer Wayne showed us how to get the chicks started, and we made some serious progress on the chicken run. In this video, we're gonna put the final touches on the coop, and we'll get the chicks moved in. Right here, right now, on In Tandem.
So we're finally putting the finishing touches on the old chicken palace. I'm installing the chicken doors on the outside, Tanner's inside, finishing off in there, while the guys are out back trimming and putting the doors in the chicken run.
Because of the heaviness of the door, we wanted to be able to slam shut as soon as you walk out. So these springs are pretty intense, and so you can't actually get them open with your fingers without an extreme amount of effort. So we're using a flathead to pry in there, and then from there to open it up. And it's a pretty strong spring.
We're in the final stages of getting this wrapped up. We got some electrical yet to do in the ceiling, as well as the main panel. We've got some water to run for automatic waterers, so the chickens have constant supply of water. Aaron just got these roosting poles put in. Real simple, just some sticks out in the woods, and just mounted them in here in the corners, over here, you know, give them something a little natural to kind of hang out on. We got their feeders hung, so they'll have a constant supply of healthy organic food. Their nesting boxes in. You can see they're growing up, but at some point they'll start to navigate up into their nesting boxes and ideally laying eggs. So it's coming along.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about what makes the Taj Mahal of chicken coops the Taj Mahal. One of the first things is a greenhouse fan that is controllable. We set a temperature limit in the coop, and as the temperature rises, the fan speed goes up each time the temperature goes up until it cools it down accordingly, and then it backs the fan back down. So it's ultimately the whole chicken coop is temperature controlled from a greenhouse fan. It blows the hot air out the top and sucks in cool air at the ground level. We've added some storage, feed, some of the stuff for the younger chicks, as well as the shavings that we rebed the chickens with frequently. One of the other things we were adding was the water. So we've got access to water inside, outside in the runs of the chicken coop, and it's plumbed in to the main lines that water the chickens. As you can see, the pipe comes in behind me into the center of the runs, comes down, and then goes to the drinking cups that are laid out on either side for the chickens. They have a little yellow control valve at them that the chickens peck at, and it releases the same amount of water each time they peck, so that the drinking cups don't overfill and they just get the right amount of water each time. So we did these feeders hanging from a chain in the ceiling, and the idea behind this was to provide adjustability as the chickens got taller, to keep them out of their bedding and everything. So I'm going to do this one right now. So you just set the feeder on the ground, and I think I'm going to go one higher here. Just come back in. And then I gain a little bit of height on the ground. Obviously you can adjust them up or down, and it allows us to adjust them from chicks all the way up to adulthood. Let's talk about the nesting boxes. We're getting close to being able to use these. So we think we're less than a month away. We will fill these up with straw, a different type of bedding to train the chickens that they're only to be nesting in here to lay eggs. Preferably, we don't want any manure or anything in with the eggs. So we put clean straw, a different type of bedding, and we also mount them at a somewhat lower height so the chickens don't get confused with roosting poles and nesting boxes. All right, so we're gonna talk about the walls in the chicken coop and why they're here. Obviously, this one behind me is to keep the chickens from getting out. We have another intermediate wall, and that actually separates. Okay, to interject, we have been infiltrated by a rooster, and so one of our females was obviously not sexed correctly, and so now we have Gary, and Gary, you know, he's a nice for giving us some morning crows, but other than that, he's kind of annoying. No eggs out of him. Anyways, with this wall here, we have two separate sizes. Gary. All right, so the intermediate wall here is to divide the bantams and the other larger birds on the other side so that they don't, honestly, they would get picked on if they were not separated. Gary. So we've got smaller birds over here, larger birds with a slightly larger area over there. And so we'll go check that out. Excuse me, buddies. Gary. Gary. Look at him. See, he's a little bit of a nut. There we go. These are the diverse varieties. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. I was trying to say that we have many different types of chickens over here. These are the larger breeds. Okay, we're good. Okay, are you Henrietta? You're Henrietta. That makes sense. There we go. Okay. All right, so these are the larger birds. I think Tanner and I are gonna try to let the larger birds and the small birds out for the first time. So let's check it out.
So like Tanner said, we're gonna try and let the chickens out for the first time. Before we do that, I wanted to show you this really cool chicken door that we have. This is the Chicken Run T50, and it is an automatic chicken door that is operated by a light sensor. And so it just raises and lowers after sunrise and sunset. Right now it's just functioning off a small button, so let's see if they want to try out their new chicken run. Knock knock. The weather's nice. Gary. Come on, Gary.
That's all of them. Let's close up the door.
So as you can see, the chickens are taking to their run nicely. They've figured out the chicken door and they're making their way in and out, which is what we like to see.
Tune in next time where you'll see us add a perennial garden with chicken runs on the other side of the building. And then, believe it or not, we're gonna add a 600-foot outdoor run in the grass for the chickens to graze.
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. This is Gary, the resident fertilizer. You can tell by... Ooh, he did. did not like that.